I'm Johnny Young Bosch, and you're watching Fans POV at Otakon 2011.
Hey, I'm Greg Ayers, and you're watching the Fans POV.
And are you an officially licensed maid?
You know, I could have gone up, I could have gotten my certificate, and I'm not quite sure if that would have been a particularly proud moment for me, though.
So why don't you tell everyone what you're dressed as and everything like that?
Well, currently I am dressed as the Bat from the Superman Red Sun comic book.
How's Comic-Con compared to like the AVN Awards?
You know, it is so much bigger.
Would you permit us to draw a dick somewhere on your clothing?
Yeah.
So if you...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ernie Layug, joined along with Miss Krissy Lawlor. We're here for the Fans POV at Otakon 2011, our wrap-up show here. So here we get to talk about the convention as a whole, with some of the things that we liked and some of the things that we didn't like. So
with more detail.
With some more detail other than the daily updates. So Krissy, how are you doing so far today?
I'm actually not that bad. I thought I'd be a lot more tired right now, but I think I got enough sleep last night.
Yeah, I think all of us did, because I know an alarm went off.
Nobody moved.
Yeah, nobody moved. I heard the alarm. I looked up. I still heard snoring, and then just went back to sleep. That was it. So, but yeah.
I think because our hotel checkout was a little later than most other hotels. So and we cleaned up last night, so we were able to sleep an extra like hour or so.
Oh, yeah, and that hour makes a huge difference. So that's another story for another day. So, all right. So Otakon 2011. Let's have first impressions. What did you think of the convention when you got in?
I guess I had the same thing I feel every time. Here's Otakon, it's huge, it's going to be crowded, it's going to be a lot going on, but probably I'm just going to end up running around like a lunatic with my camera.
I feel the same exact way. It's just, you always come in with a little bit of excitement, a little bit more energy than you do with other conventions. Because it is Otakon, there is over 30,000 people here, and it's just one huge gathering of otaku, nerds, geeks, whatever you want to call them. And it's just overall a really good time here. And I think we went with a lot of first timers.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. I think I know you and I and our friend Chris weren't as excited for Otakon this year as we usually are. But then we had like 9 friends. It was their first time going to Otakon, and I think that made it more exciting for us because we got to see our friends' first impressions of Otakon and see how they reacted to it.
Exactly. It was like a little jolt of energy there because like, oh, you guys are going? Yes, that is amazing. So
you got to do this, you got to do that. We're going to go here. We'll tell you where to go. We'll show you where to go.
Yeah, so we were definitely excited. We definitely got excited for it. So, all right. So first, okay, expectations. What did you expect when you came here? I know that like we've been doing this for a while now.
I think this is my 6th year going.
Yeah, this is my 5th, yes. Yep. 5th year going, and it's sort of the expectations are sort of the same every year. You see cosplayers here, you want to see the guests here, you want to see, what were your expectations coming into this, especially like with some guests and some cosplayers, the programming that was going, so?
I don't know what my expectation was going to be, because like I said, it's the same thing, we always have the same expectations. I was hoping for all those interviews we had put in for, because it would have been cool, it would have been real fun. But another part of me was like, I just want to relax this year, but let's see how the con handles it. I don't want to make too many expectations because every year something happens that you don't expect, like last year with the fire drill. This year we didn't expect, well, the heat, I think. Yeah, so with expectations, it's kind of hard because anything can happen.
Yeah, it's like, I sort of came in with the same things as those as well. It's like, you know, every year you want to come in, I really wish that we had the interviews. I kind of wish that things went a little bit more as planned, a little bit smoother, but it didn't. Obviously, we got to be flexible that way, but we put in for a bunch of interviews for you guys. Unfortunately, they were not available at the time.
I think we put in for 8, and we got like 4. 3. Yeah, we got 3 out of the 8.
We got 3 interviews, and we will be talking about those later, but I think it's like, at first, when Otakon was approaching, until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I wasn't really that excited for it, and the expectations weren't really that high. I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Otakon, just hang out with my friends, have a good time, and pretty much it. And that was the extent of it. Then you hear all the guests coming. It's like, holy crap, I need to go. And all of a sudden, and that also with the first time people are going, how many people were going to go. So that kind of bolted it up from there. So expectations were definitely high for this one. Now, we were talking about issues earlier. Like with expectations, obviously you're going to run into some issues. Right. Not everything's going to be perfect. So we compiled a list of our top 3 issues that we thought happened this weekend. And the first one, probably, I think you could say the biggest of them all, was definitely the weather. The weather definitely affected this convention a lot more than it used to in the past.
Right.
So how do you think?
A lot more obviously, too.
Oh, yeah. You could definitely see it like inside the convention center. You could see it outside with the people just dripping with sweat and all that stuff. Like it was, the overall temperature this weekend had to be at least over 100.
I think the minimum was like 100.
Yeah, like it's.
Plus, and then the humidity factor added another 10 degrees onto each one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, as much as it probably helped out some of the economy here in Baltimore, the real people who got paid were the ice cream vendors and the
drink guys. The drink guys along the streets.
Yeah, exactly. Because people will be waiting outside, especially during the pre-reg line on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Those
all you were doing was going in, getting your badge, and coming out. There was no hanging out in the convention center.
Yeah, sometimes you can hang out in the convention center. I think some people did just to beat the heat.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the big things with it, and also with the weather. Some people were telling me it made the convention smaller. I don't think it really made the convention smaller.
No,
it just
more packed.
Yeah, because it was the same as it was before. It's just that the weather took over and forced everybody inside, and someone's singing ice cold water. So, yes. All right, but but
like you said, the guys who made it with it, they had for the weekend. I think along the L shape, you had a maximum number of 9 ice cream trucks along the street.
9 ice cream trucks, and they're almost all serving the same thing. Like each truck was different, obviously.
But it depends, I guess, when certain times you'll have a line at each one because I'm not gonna go that one. There's 10 people waiting. I'm gonna go this one. Well, this one has 8 people waiting. Let me go over to that one.
Exactly. So, and also with the vendors themselves, the water vendors, it's only $1 for a drink.
And
that's a deal.
Ice cold. They are cold.
They literally
bring that cooler, that huge cooler, filled to the brim with ice and drinks, and they don't always. Then they give you the water, the sodas, and the vitamin waters and Gatorade. So it's actually good.
Yeah. So because of that, also with the weather, we were talking about it all weekend long. We came up we had some tips for it, and obviously we had our share of moments too where it's like, you know what, we didn't follow them to the extent. But I think the biggest one was just to keep ourselves hydrated, and it was just. And it's an important thing too because I know a good amount of people did suffer from heat stroke this weekend. So. At least maybe next year, maybe some more water coolers around, maybe some more vendors to help out with the drinks and all. But I think they just weren't prepared for the weather. That was the big thing.
Yeah, I don't think so because I know for about a week before the con, I checked what the weather was going to be like, and originally it said it was going to be all sunny the entire weekend, except for one day it was going to have thunderstorms, and everything was going to be between 95 and 100. A couple of days before the con, I checked it again. It said a whole weekend was supposed to be thunderstorms and everything was supposed to be over 97. Then I checked again the night before we left. Well, actually, I checked when we got here on Thursday, and they said that it was supposed to be sunny all weekend and everything was going to be over 99.
And that's actually what it was. It was sunny all weekend. I think Thursday we had a spattering of like maybe some.
It was like a spray.
Exactly. It was just like some rain that fell down, but obviously it just didn't help. So. At least it was good to at least see everybody okay with it. The heat stroke, it wasn't too severe. They were able to.
Well, they had they had staff going around checking people who had heavy costumes and full body costumes, checking for hydration. Our friend Jolly actually ended up checked because he had a full camo suit he was playing Snake, and they asked to check him, and he had a backpack with water in it, so he was good for the whole weekend. And they told us that a couple of ambulances were here this weekend for heat stroke, and quite a few people were going into the med center just passing out.
Exactly. Yeah. So at least it's good to hear that there wasn't anything too severe.
No. And they were on top of it.
Exactly. So big ups to staff for that. So all right, enough about the weather for now. Next thing on our list was the construction that was going on. Now about a month from now, Labor Day weekend. Baltimore is having their first ever Grand Prix race that's here. Now, they have no racetrack here. So you're wondering, where is the racetrack? It's the streets of Baltimore that is going to be the racetrack. So what they're doing to prepare for it is adding bleacher sections all around the city.
And it looks like they're also cleaning up a lot of the corner intersection curbs.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because that was one of the first things that I noticed when I got here. There was a lot of construction going on, with maybe fixing some potholes, maybe try to smooth some things out, and it just sort of kind of put a little inks in some people's plans there. So, do you think like maybe this weekend was not the best weekend to start it because they know like who's coming here, they know how much of an impact the city's going to get from this convention alone? Do you think maybe they should have started Monday when everybody left?
They probably should have, but knowing how this town really knows about Otakon and how much they profit from it, it's probably they tried and this was only answer because they really benefit from us being here and they know they benefit from us being here.
Yeah, definitely. And
they try not to inconvenience us. They try to help us.
Yeah, the Baltimore Sun, as soon as 2010 was over, the Baltimore Sun had an article on how much this convention helped out this city. Because of the weekend here, the city made, I think, like a good $500,000 to $1 million profit here.
Wow.
I know it was a lot of money. I don't think it was that high, but I know it was a lot of money.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They made a good amount from all of us being here and just helping boom up the economy here. So it made them have things like the Grand Prix. It made them clean up the Inner Harbor. So it's a good thing. So,
yeah.
All right. So the construction going on there, it's not too bad, but they're just trying to fix some nicks.
It kind of made things cramped going from the convention center into the Inner Harbor if you didn't do the skywalk, which is over because the construction was over by that water fountain over in the Inner Harbor, which is where a lot of photo shoots are done, and also just general hanging out in the grass area. But since that area was cut off, it kind of cramped things a little bit by the fountain.
Oh yeah, so it's not too bad. It just made everything cramped. So all right, so the next thing on our list is the scheduling. Now, scheduling wasn't too bad. Obviously, with some of them, in terms of the panels, they schedule most of they try to spread it out or put a lot together, so that that way there is no real traffic towards one area. But unless you were here for the FMA premiere, where this whole convention floor was filmed.
This whole floor was just one big giant line, Disneyland line, of people waiting to get into the FMA movie.
I'm sure, like, if you've seen the pictures up on Twitter or up on Facebook, but did you try to get? You tried to get in, Tom, right? No, he did not try. I think
we warned him before he was going to come, and we warned him.
Oh, okay, all right. He was thinking about it, and he was like, "No way, no way, he was going to get in there." So, but I think in terms of scheduling, the biggest thing is that it was the guest announcements. Yeah. There weren't a lot of guest announcements until about 2 to 3 weeks before the convention itself. Because
it was about 2 weeks because we made a comment and all of a sudden there we were. I think it was 2 weeks before.
Yeah, because all you knew who was coming was iShine, Johnny Young Bosch,
Tony Oliver, and Tom Wayland, pretty much.
Like in terms of the American, then you had 6.
I think there was like 5 or 6 of the. There was like 4 or 5 of the Japanese guests. So in total, it was only like 11 guests. But we looked at it like, wow, that's it. 2 weeks before, all of a sudden, that they add 6 English voice actors.
Exactly. Yeah, they had the whole English cast of Kay on here.
Quite a bit of Hitalia.
A good amount of the Hitalia cosplay. They premiered Hitalia World Series here, and nobody knew that until 2 weeks before the convention. Right. And I think I was talking about it with some staff, and they said that they just had to get the okay. They had to get a signed letter of intent. They had to get the contracts ready before they make the announcement.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, of course, the screaming. So.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's sort of like, it was a little bit too close to the con. But in the end, still a lot of people came. So.
Oh, yeah. It's just a matter of figuring out what you're doing, who's going where. Like earlier I had with the autograph signing, they kind of scheduled it where everyone was together, but they ended up starting late. But they had so many Hitalia people looking for autographs from the Hitalia cosplayers. I mean, voice actors, that they alone signed so many, they decided to leave early because they needed to eat and rest because there were so many people just for Italia.
I can imagine that. That's one of the things too, is that what I like about Otakon is that they do have like the cavalcade
or something like that.
Where they basically have all the actors or whatever, of one specific genre or whatever they want.
Well, I think this year was the U.S. voice actors. Last year they separated the male voice actors and the female voice actors.
Yeah, and they do that, and you can just get all their autographs in one shot if you miss their autograph session during the weekend or so. So we like that a lot. So it gets so that way at least we can move along, and if we miss something, we know we have that last chance to get it. So let's go into some tips for the weekend here. Now,
we said drinks.
Yeah,
we said drinks. Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. What are some others? Let's come up with 3 tips. Drink and stay hydrated. What? How about as another tip?
Usually the most big ones are usually, we know it's a busy weekend, but still, shower, do those necessities, the showers and the sleeping and the eating. Those are the most important things you can do for the weekend. It just so, you yourself are better. You're not falling apart at the con, you're not getting sick. And also with the showering and all that, we've been to cons where it doesn't seem like anyone's doing that. It just brings down, it actually I think adds to the heat almost.
I think it does too.
It makes it more uncomfortable because of the smell, and
it just the heat only accentuates it a little bit more.
Because some people don't bathe or shower during the weekend. They just try to like almost marathon it through.
Yeah, and that's not the best thing to do, because we had I think Andrew tried it like 2 or 3 years ago. He was going to marathon the entire weekend and he just couldn't do it.
No.
He needed the sleep.
He passed out like halfway through Saturday.
Yeah,
we got here Thursday night and he passed out halfway through Saturday.
Exactly. So you got to have those necessities. Don't worry, everybody's still going to be here. You're not going to miss anything. It's just going to be. It would just be, you'll be more sociable that way. I think you'll have a better time if you add those things onto it. The shower, the sleep, and the eating. It's not going to take away too much of your time. So it's a good thing there. Then one more tip that I think we should have.
I think more like con courtesy. Because some people, if you're new to a con, it's a little more understandable because you don't know how things work. At a con, try to be as friendly as possible. Try not to be like blocking the middle of a hallway because you want that photo. Take the person off to the side to do the photo. Or you see a group of people who are just in the way, instead of being nasty with them, try to make your way through. Try not to block things. And also, if you see people standing there for some reason, try to assume that maybe there's a camera nearby, because how many times between us and actual photo shoots, people just walk in front of the camera not realizing what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest thing there. Like, even though the whole thing with even just taking pictures in general, don't block in the hallway. Don't worry, you can run up to them. Like, if you see something going one way and you see a cosplayer come with another way that you want, it's okay to turn around and be like, hey, can I have your picture? Except let's walk a little bit further down the hallway. So maybe have a small chat with them, ask them about their costume and all. You be friendly with them. So there's nothing wrong with that. When you go to their hotel room, then there's something wrong going on with that. Or maybe like go to the restaurant with them, then you'll be a stalker there. So.
Well, I actually noticed this year, usually in past years, if someone starts blocking that one hallway in the upstairs, where you're walking to the panels.
Well, that's the main hallway. That's the only way you can get through any of them.
In past years, you'll always have at least 3 staffers going, keep moving, don't block the hallway, and stopping people from doing the photos. This year, how many times I walked through there, I don't think I saw 1 staffer in there.
Exactly.
Which was surprising, but I also didn't see that much of a problem with congestion in that hallway. So I think people are learning and they don't need to be yelled at.
I think it's just plainly congested in general. And that's why people just don't stop and take the shoot. They're like, oh, there's too many people here. You're cramped up. It cramps the style. So, all right. So let's move along to the dealer's room and artist alley. Yes, your favorite part. Well, actually, just the artist alley. Not really so much my favorite part, because I don't spend money there.
You never spend money at a con.
The only time I spend money is when I eat.
Yes.
Maybe eating and like toiletries, such as like soap, shampoo, and all that great stuff. Nothing really much I spend at a con. So, but how about you, Krissy? I know you spend a good amount in the dealers.
Actually, I didn't spend as much as I usually do.
See, that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, but I'm going back to the artist alley and the dealer's room later. But I think you were there when I was doing my artists. I get from the same artists all the time, so I bring a binder of their work with me, so I don't buy duplicates. Because everything ooh, that looks nice.
It does. This artist that she buys from is absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Like I may go up there and buy something from that. So.
Well, that one I usually buy. She's always in the dealer's room because she's so good. She's not artist alley. She's dealer. But in dealer's room, I walked around. Nothing really grabbed my eye. And that's a surprise for me. There were a couple of things like, ooh, I would like that. But I also came with a list of things I wanted to get, and that's what I was going for. Those are the things I'm going to get. I'm not going to try grabbing everything else. That's why I want to go back and maybe see if I can get one or two more things off that list.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Like I saw that you had the list on your phone. It was a bunch of manga, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's just easy. Sometimes it's easier to do that way than try and get them on Amazon. Going, all right, who's got the cheapest price? I don't know if I can trust you, but let's get the cheapest price. At least here I know the quality I'm gonna get.
At least, yeah, the quality is what you're looking at right there. Yep. So, all right, so for the dealer's room, the one thing I did like about dealer's room is that if you're in there, you look down, you get to see where you are, and that makes things easier.
That's new this year, I think.
Yeah, that is new. Usually, I know at some conventions, New York Comic Con does it. They do it up on the ceiling. Otakon, they do it on the floor. You can see where you are. It doesn't matter. It's still a marker where you are.
Yeah, they did 100th Street, 200th Street, 300th Street, and then they did Avenue A, Avenue B, Avenue C. So if you're looking for friends or you're looking for a particular dealer, you go, go to the corner, the intersection of Avenue 100 C and Street 100.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's easier to find each other and the dealers.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It's also like it's good because when you see it on the map, you see the layout of the dealer's room and you see all their booth numbers. They don't necessarily show it, like in the dealer's room themselves. So if you're looking for a particular dealer, be like, hey, I'm looking for Bada Bada Bing Bong. And it's at 200, like 202, 4 or something like that, yeah.
You know it's on 200th Street, and it's probably near Avenue A.
Exactly, yeah. So it makes things easier for that.
Right.
So, all right, how about Artist Alley? What else did you get anything from the Artist Alley?
I got those from the one artist. I actually follow her on DeviantArt, so I got a couple of her things. But I want to go back because I want to really look at the Artist Alley because we kind of did a meet, like we just wandered. We really didn't look hard, which I like to do. I like to look at every booth to see.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back later, but.
Okay. Yeah, I like I know there's this one artist there that she did Kesha, Glee, Lady Gaga.
That one was good. Disney princesses. That one was good.
Yeah, I want to get one of the Disney princesses and put all of our faces on there, like me, John, maybe Chris, and then maybe the last one will be Ji-yoon or something like that.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Like put out like our faces as the Disney princesses. I have to see if she could do that. So, all right. So next up, so that's it for those two. Next up is panels. You went to some panels this year, so.
A couple.
You went to one right before this.
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to think where else I went to. We went to Anime Parliament because a couple of our friends were involved with Anime Parliament. I didn't get to see them because the panel was supposed to be an hour. They cut it down to a half an hour. So everyone started leaving the room. I get about 10 minutes away and I get text from one of my other friends. They restarted the panel. I'm like, you know what? I'm almost at my other destination. Whatever. But it was fun. I didn't realize what they did. I didn't understand what Anime Parliament was until my friends got into the panel and told me, and I was like, that was great. It was hysterical.
Okay. The other one was the Power Ranger one, right?
Me, Lee, and our friend Tom went to the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger panel hosted by Tony Oliver, and he basically told us how Power Rangers got started and how certain aspects behind the scenes worked. And it was just fun seeing and hearing this stuff, especially since we laughed, like me and my friend Tom and Lee. We all practically knew half of the information. And we're all going, yeah, that's awesome, yeah, because we're the Power Ranger nerds of the group.
Exactly. So.
And even going over, the panel went over, nobody cared.
Yeah. Was it packed?
It wasn't packed. It was like, it was that big panel room in the Hilton, panel 6. It's a huge room. I think it was like halfway full.
Is it, I'm almost out, or?
Oh yeah, as the panel went on, more people started showing up.
Okay. So
lots of videos, clips that we hadn't, like nostalgia ones that we'd seen before, and ones we hadn't seen yet.
Like what?
Well, they have shown the original pilot intro to the series.
Oh, really?
That one was shown right after Power Rangers in Space came out. It was like the lost episode.
Oh, is that the pilot where they're all in the bowling alley?
Yeah.
And that one is what was it? I know that originally the Yellow Ranger
was
white brunette. Yes. No, she was. was an African American.
No, she wasn't. That was the. Don't trust me. She wasn't. But they also Bulk was more of an idiot than he is in the original series. Skull was a totally different character, different actor.
They added another person onto that, right? It wasn't originally just Bulk and Skull.
No, they had a gang. They had a gang. And then they showed. When they decided that was not a good, they decided that was too violent of a beginning, they refilmed it 2 more times, but the other 2 times had the Trini that everyone knows in it.
Oh, okay.
And they showed those clips, and then they showed advertisements they had, and they showed other clips, and it was like really awesome. Lee filmed it, and I'm like, you're giving me a copy.
Is that the one with was it Zoltar? Instead of Zor?
No, that's script-wise. That's different.
Okay, all right. I see what you mean with that. So, all right. Well, what other?
Go on.
Yeah, I know this. What else? What other panels did you go to?
I think that was it.
Yeah, because the only thing that Tom I know went to a bunch.
Yeah, Tom went to a lot.
Tom had a lot. Like I had a whole thing like set on. Where's my phone at? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good thing. Like we'll talk about it a little bit, but guidebook on here.
Oh yeah.
That's a really good thing because. It's basically, since everybody has these smartphones, you have an app for the convention on here, and it just keeps everything in place.
Right.
And when you book a certain event that you want to go to or a panel, a little notification comes up saying, hey, a reminder.
You wanted to go to was coming up.
Exactly. Yeah, it came up all day, never went to anything. I had like 20 things marked down, didn't go to one. Like I wanted to go.
I've stopped because I know we never go to half of them.
I want to see the best Japanese commercial, no, the worst Japanese commercials.
I think it's the best. I think it's the best Japanese. Well, the weirdest something or other. I think
it was something odd. What else was there? Like really bad Japanese music videos. That one, and then like the weirdest games you never played. It was like a whole bunch that was going on that I wanted to go to. Didn't go.
Yeah.
Didn't have the time for it. But the one thing I noticed with panels is that I was talking to my friend Angelo from Disorganization 13. And he told me about how some of the fandom panels were kind of pushed to the side.
Really?
Yeah, because it was I felt like there wasn't a lot of fan panels. There were a lot more industry type panels.
Really?
Because usually when there's industry panels, you only have the basic 2, Funimation and Bandai.
Yeah.
This year they have Funimation, Bandai, Sunrise, Aniplex, Vertical.
Crunchyroll?
I think Crunchyroll had an industry panel. So it's not something. And even when I went to AX, they didn't have all those panels. They didn't have a lot of industry panels there. So I felt like there was a lot, fandom got pushed to the side while the industry took over. Because there were a lot of premieres here.
Yeah.
There was the Hitalia World Series, there was the FMA, yes. Trigun. So a lot of those had the premieres plus Q&As. So it wasn't bad. Like, it's cool to have like a balance of it, but just don't push it off to the side.
I think it was also because it's spread out. Now that they have the Hilton and the Sheraton, they got a lot more spread out on where we can do things. And they probably want, of course, this convention center is the main section. They're going to want the autograph signings, the workshops, all the standard stuff that they can control here.
No, they're very good there. So hopefully, hey, I know that you and Tom are planning a Power Ranger panel. Are you going to submit that here?
I don't think Otakon, but definitely Icon, not Otakon. I think it's too big. Well, we can always try it out first.
So try it out at Icon first. If it's big enough, try it at Otakon, and then I think it would get a big response.
I think it would too.
I personally, because you see what the Power Ranger shirts.
Yeah.
Like they're all like, it's basically the uniforms with the shirts.
On the shirt.
On the shirt. There we go. And it still has a big following. So. It's been on the air for 20 years, might as well.
17.
17, I'm sorry.
17.
Yes. So, all right, so moving along, let's talk about some guests. So more specifically, guests that we've interviewed.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, here the guest we interviewed was singer Kylie. We interviewed the band Chemistry and also Tony Oliver. Out of the 3, who were your favorite? Who was your favorite?
I don't think I had a favorite. Definitely Tony Oliver was cool because the stuff he's worked on, I grew up watching.
Exactly, yeah.
Besides Power Rangers.
Yeah, like Mask Rider? And VR Troopers? Yes.
And Beetleborgs, yeah, all the Saban stuff. But it was kind of cool meeting Chemistry because that was a cool interview, even though it's hard with the language barrier. And Kylie, it was kind of fun seeing someone who's as we said, we're sorry we say it, but the real life Hannah Montana, who can actually be a normal teenager at home and then go someplace else and be the superstar.
Exactly, yeah. And she was real chill as well. So
Yeah.
I liked the chemistry a lot. I thought they were really a chill band. They were cool. They're just like, fun to. They seem like they're fun to hang out when it was the right time,
Yeah.
and then they're chill when they needed to be chill. So
Right.
that was good there. So we'll have some clips of them throughout the show. So you'll be able to see their full interviews and all that great stuff. So but it's also with some of the guests. Who are you looking forward to seeing here?
Well, before we found out at the press conference we couldn't get them near them, I really wanted to see Johnny Young Bosch again, and I wanted to try and get some more autographs for. I never met Stephanie Shea, even though she was here last year. I wanted to get her autographs. And J. Michael Tatum, from what I've heard, he's a really cool guy. And I wanted to meet him and maybe with an interview get to know him a little bit better. But unfortunately, we couldn't get those, and unfortunately, I couldn't get their autographs. So, and Johnny Young Bosch, unfortunately, was not doing interviews this weekend.
Yeah.
So,
He did an intro for us.
yeah, he did. Thank God. That was nice enough of him.
Yeah, that was cool enough for. You know what? At least at one point, I'm sure we'll meet all of them. It's not like they're just come to Otakon and that's it. We'll definitely meet them in the future. So
I only go to, that's all I go to is Otakon.
Oh, no, you go to more. Shut up. All right. So, but yeah, so definitely. But I wanted to meet some of the actresses from K-On! Because I wanted to ask them to the ball. So, Christina V, please come with me. I don't know, but we'll see. Come with me to prom, Christina V. So if I see her, I'm gonna ask her to prom, and then I'm gonna ask her to marry me. So. She'll probably say no, but...
and go, oh, aren't you a cute stalker?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, Tom? Yeah. I wanted to say more there, but I can't say it because it's a family show. So, all right, moving along. Cosplayers. So, let's talk about some cosplayers here. Trends. Before we get to our favorites and montages and all great stuff, let's talk about some trends here. What did you see a lot of when you were here?
The most I saw was probably Black Butler. But it was still not a ridiculous number of people. I think this year's trend was anything goes.
I agree with that because it wasn't, with some conventions, you'll see just Hetalia, you'll see just Death Note.
I barely saw anything of. I barely saw any Hetalia, unless they were just hiding somewhere.
Yeah, apparently there's the photo shoot going on with Lee, unless they're the only ones that are in Hetalia. But you see the one specific show, like Pokemon or... let's see, maybe Trigun, maybe Bleach, but this year it just wasn't. There wasn't one that dominated the convention.
One every time you turned around, you saw one.
Exactly. Although I did see a lot of trainers. I did see a lot of Pokemon trainers. Yeah. There was a lot there, but it wasn't dominating.
Right.
So it's basically
there's no cosplay at this con.
Exactly. As Uncle Yo would say. All right. So then the next one. Who was your favorite cosplayer and why?
You answer first.
I answer first. Jesus. Oh.
I know. I promised I'd think about it, but it's hard.
Yeah, it is a tough thing to do. I honestly, because it's just so out there, it was the Katy Perry one because I think it's not because of that. It's just it was just random? It stood out. One, it was random. Two, it was unique. Number three, she pulled it off.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
She had the body for it.
Exactly. So it's just. So it was pretty cool to see something different that goes around because one year we saw all the Lady Gagas here. Another year you'll see it but that's also starting to become a trend is Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So it's good to see some
cosplayer herself.
Exactly. I can't wait to see someone in a frog suit going around here, like the Kermit the Frog dolls. So I think Katy Perry was pretty cool. Now I'm waiting for Kesha. So Kesha will complete the mix.
Yeah.
So all right. Now it's your turn.
I guess I'm going to have to pick one. Well, the one I was actually the happiest to see, may not have been my favorite, were two G Gundam cosplayers. Okay. You rarely see them around. I saw the one cosplayer that I've seen a couple years in a row. He's not great, but the other two were Master Asia and Allenby. Okay. They are two major characters in G Gundam, and I love the series, and it's so nice to see something that random out from left field show up. So I was really happy to see them. They weren't necessarily my favorite. I don't think I really had a favorite because everything was good, but nothing stood like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I hear.
But
no.
The costumes were good. The costumes were good this year.
Yeah, were a lot, so it made it.
I know my favorite. Dark Helmet.
Yes, I forgot about that during
It was here.
Yes, and he had the oversized head. I think he made it a little bit larger. It would have been hilarious. But.
Oh yeah, he was a little tall for the character because Rick Moranis is shorter.
Well, yeah,
you know, and then he photobombed the Star Wars photo shoot.
Well, he fits perfectly with it, even though it's a parody. It's still Star Wars there. So Dark Helmet. Tom agrees with that, right? Yeah, he likes it. So was that your favorite, Tom? It was one of his favorite. He has a few that he likes, but it was like. It's up there, so. Alrighty, so of course while we're here, we talked to some cosplayers. Here's what they had to say about some questions that we had to ask them. So for the purposes of this, who are you and who you dressed up as?
Of course, I'm Mike Tyson, and I'm here to have some fun.
Would you make your rear hair, would you dye it that way? Like one side light pink, the other one, I guess like dark red?
I would if I could. I had my hair half pink at a time.
What advice do you have for them to get where you are right now?
Be fearless. Like, don't ever not try something because you're afraid that you might mess it up. Like, you can always try again.
Have you done any other cosplays besides these?
Yesterday I was here as Luigi.
And I've made it my life's mission to cosplay all of Sailor Mars's outfits.
Is it big enough to fit a small kid in there? Like,
yes,
so.
It is. I have a niece and a nephew, and I could fit both of them underneath this.
How many guys other than right now have hit on you?
A lot.
You can see that.
Good amount, yeah. It must be like some kind of like fantasy dream come true.
Can you sing that for us?
I got that ice cold water. Only $1.
So those were some of the cosplayers that we interviewed throughout the weekend. Don't worry, we'll have their full interviews up pretty soon on the after show. All right, next up, ratings. Ratings. All right, Krissy, from 1 to 10, how would you rate this convention and why?
I'd probably give it like a 7.5. It's not ridiculously awesome this year, but you know what? It's Otakon. It's still good. It's got its down points. It's got its up points. But you know what? I've been going for so many years. It's not bad. It's above average, but it's not like, oh my God, amazing.
Okay. All right, no, I'll agree with that, but I'll go a little bit lower. I thought it was like a 7. It was it's not. Like you said, it wasn't something that was amazingly awesome, that it was up there, it was great. It wasn't, but it was a little better than average. To me, I felt like it was just a blah, like, it was a blah at first, and then they just threw all this crap at you and be like, yo, here, grab it. It was like almost like a piñata. Like, it was hanging up there, you were waiting for that big thing, and then somebody hit it, and they got all the announcements, they got all the stuff that was going on, and everybody just seemed to reach and grab for it. So it's sort of like, it was one of those, like, you had to find out what you were doing right away. You had to plan out, like, within 2 weeks in advance instead of a couple of months.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, you know, it was sort of like, I felt it was rushed. There's the better word for it.
Sure.
So that's why I gave it a 7. How about you, Tom? Well, it's your first time, so it doesn't... Aiden? We'll put it a 9?
8.5. All right, 8.5.
8.5, all right. So we have an 8.5, a 7, and a 7.5.
So wait, that makes
so what's our
7.6666666.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
7.666. So we'll put 7.7 just for the argument's sakes of it. So we rated about 7.7. It was
average.
It was definitely above average. We had a great time here. It's just that some of the things they obviously had to. It wasn't just amazingly awesome. So
right.
I'm sure next year it'll be just as good. So alrighty. So what did you guys think? Leave your ratings down below and tell us why you thought Otakon 2011 was X-rated. Whatever you rated. So all right, some final thoughts. Yeah. So any final thoughts here from Otakon 2011?
Not really, because like we've been saying the whole time, we've been here for so many years. There's not much we can really say. It's Otakon as Otakon should be. It's still good. It doesn't look like it's going to be going downhill anytime soon. They've pretty much got as perfect as they can, because you can't be perfect. So they've got it as good as they can, and all they just got to do, staff's got to keep doing what they do, and we'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. Make yourself be organized as much as you can, and I think that's like with the overall thing with Otakon. It's not so, from my point of view, it's not so much the convention itself. It's just hanging out with everybody.
Yeah.
And that was just that's what I feel is the main point of this convention. Yep. Not just, but just any convention. I always feel like it's with this one
because we only your regular friends, but your con friends that you only see when you go to a con or when you come here to Otakon.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's just because also we have 20 people that come with us all the time. It's a good way to bring all of us together. We're all like a big family, so that's what I like about Otakon. So. Alrighty, so that's our thoughts from Otakon 2011. Now comes all the other stuff. So where are we going to be next? Well, actually, where are we going to be for the rest of the year? Here, check out our schedule coming up for the coming year.
From MagFest in January to Otakon in July, 2011 has given the fans POV many images that we will never forget. And many more images that we would like to forget. Although we had many moments from the year, it isn't over yet. August 13th will be in upstate New York to tour the Tuxedo Renaissance Fair and cover the events of the 8-week festival. On Labor Day weekend, the fans POV is heading down south to the ATL for one of the biggest band conventions in the country, Dragon Con. From October 13th through the 16th, we head to the crossroads of the world, New York City, for New York Comic Con and Anime Festival. November 18th through the 20th in Crystal City, Virginia, is the time and destination for the season finale of the fans POV, where we will be at Anime USA. Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook for more info and updates on the show. 2011 is almost over and we plan on going out with a bang.
Alright, so those are some, we got about 4 events left in the year. Next up, we will be coming back in 2 weeks, August 15th. 13th, we will be at the Tuxedo Rent Fair. You'll be able to see that show in New York, Tuxedo, New York, upstate. You'll see that show on August 15th, weather permitting, of course.
Weather permitting,
You have to say weather permitting because it is outside, so if it rains, we can't do a show.
And if anybody dies of heat exhaustion, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And then after, just a little much there. And then after that, I think is what we were excited for before Otakon, before our friends decided to come to Otakon. Dragon Con in Atlanta. We will be first time we'll be there. We will be there Labor Day weekend. So we're able to.
We'll be actually spending a whole week down there.
So, oh yeah, we'll spend the whole week, and it's a wraparound convention. So it starts Friday, ends on Monday. So we'll have that coverage up on Tuesday. So, all right. So, but other than that, you'll be able to see the full show up on our website, AtATimeProductions.com. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at AtATimeProd, and then you like us on Facebook for some more updates of our conventions and our schedule. Make sure you go to Facebook.com/AtATimeProds and like us there. So, I think I got them all, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, alrighty. So here you go. Here's some highlights and some moments from Otakon, set to I Shine Stratosphere. Chosen by this one. Anyway, so we will see you 2 weeks from now at the Tuxedo Rent Fair. Bye. And we're done, finally. No.